Today's video is building a crust that will blow your mind. So whether you're using a regular tomahawk steak or you just happen to be so lucky as I am and it's a Wagyu tomahawk steak, it doesn't matter. The preparation is the same. We're in for a treat. Let's get started. Hey, I'm James from Smokin' Dad Barbecue. Wagyu, tomahawk, scallops. These are some of my favorite things, and we are cooking them all today on the Kamado Joe Big Joe using the Soapstone accessory. So this steak is something that I just picked up today. If you had the time, I'm a huge fan of salt brining your steak overnight. But if you don't have time and you're like me today, the second best thing that you can do is go ahead and hit that with some Diamond Kosher crystal salt a couple of hours before you're gonna cook it, and then leave it out at room temperature. And that warmer air will allow the salt to penetrate more quickly than it would if it was left in the refrigerator. We're also going to be setting up our Kamado Joe Big Joe for a hot zone and a cool zone so that we can reverse sear this steak and get some great smoke flavor on it before dropping it down to our sear surface on the Soapstone. So let me cut away and show you how we're going to set up the Big Joe, and then I'll rejoin you in a little bit when it's time to start getting our tomahawk on the Joe, making our sear sauce and prepping our scallops. Okay, so before you join me, I already started with a half basket of charcoal, got a fire going. And now what I'm going to do is just drop in a piece of oak for smoking wood, and I want this to actually burn and ignite so that we're getting clean combustion even though we'll be at a lower temperature. So unlike normal with a half basket in this setup, I'm going to go ahead and put the wood on top of our fire, bury it right down in there where I had some of those coals working. So that should catch in no time. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our Kamado Joe Soapstone accessory and drop that right on top of the fire so it has a chance to preheat. Next, I'm going to grab a spare grid that I have conveniently placed on the other side of the camera and have that ready to go right here on our top rack. So what this is going to do is this is going to start preheating our soapstone so that we can heat it up more quickly when it's ready to sear, as well as giving us an indirect side for our reverse sear portion, pardon me. So we're going to stabilize the grill at about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And we'll do that by closing our bottom draft door to about 1 finger's width at the bottom, and our control tower top vent for the time being to that first line, and we will make some adjustments if we need to from there. So let me walk you through a couple layers of flavor that are really important. The first one we've already done, which is the salt dry brine, or in our case the accelerated 2-3 hour dry brine. What that's going to do is really focus on the tenderness and sort of the beefy flavor deep within the steak. The next flavor profile that I really want to hit with this steak is getting a bit of umami. And to achieve this, I'm going to use a schmear using truffle hot sauce. And so just like the name suggests, this is using truffle oil infused hot sauce. Not sponsored by any means. I wish it was, because I go through these bottles like crazy. But just out of random experimentation, I discovered how amazing hot sauce is on a steak. You don't get any hot sauce flavor. It's not going to taste like, you know, a buffalo wing by any means, but it does add something. And the truff adds the most of them all because it's got that sort of sharp mushroom flavor that just really hits the umami experience on your taste buds. So now we've got beef flavor through our salt and tenderness. We've got some umami, some depth and smokiness with the truff sauce. Next, we're gonna add maybe a little bit of homemade rub. I'm gonna focus on pepper and garlic and onion in this rub. No more salt since we've already got that covered. So that's our 3 layers of flavoring our steak, but we've got 2 more layers I haven't mentioned yet. The fourth is going to be our smoke. And so as you may see behind me, I'm definitely breathing in. We've got a piece of oak wood in there for smoke, and we're gonna smoke this steak for our reverse sear portion on the cool side of the Kamado Joe. And our last flavor profile is going to be searing it with our mayo sear sauce, which is again just another form of flavored fat that we'll add. And you may not think these 5 layers matter, but they do. And they really create an amazing crust. And I want to emphasize crust, because you may think 5 things is too much. This is a really nice steak. You don't want to ruin it. And I assure you, this is not going to do anything of the like. This is really focusing on building an amazing crust that just has your guests guessing, what is that amazing flavor? Yet when you're deep into the steak and just enjoying the rest of it, you're not going to have any lingering, I wish that wasn't there elements. It's just going to be some amazing Wagyu flavor. So I hope you really try this one. If you want to start off the first time, go ahead and grab a piece of meat that's on sale versus jumping right into Wagyu with me here. But I've done it a few times and I know everyone in our household loves it. So let's go ahead and grab our steak and start building our 5 layers of an amazing crust. Okay, so we're ready to add our next 2 layers. So you could use Truff or Truff Hotter. This is the hotter sauce. I can put a link down to Amazon below if you'd like to check it out, but they're available in a lot of barbecue stores. So we just want a little bit on each side here to act as our smear, just so we have something for our rub to adhere to. Well, that's perfect. So again, we don't want this just dripping with sauce. We just want enough that our rub will stick. That's our binder. Okay, now let's go ahead and hit it with our rub. This is just one I got for a birthday present. If you wanted to make it at home, it's pretty much often what I have in my house rub. We got a lot of onion, garlic, black pepper. Those are all in mine. I don't have dried red bell pepper, thyme, parsley flakes. So this is really, really easy to make at home. I just happen to have a bottle sitting from a birthday present that I hadn't got to yet, which is why I'm using this one instead of my own. So I want to give it a try. Okay, that looks great. Let's go ahead, grab our meter probe. And what I'm going to do is just go into about the middle here. Right to that line. We're ready to throw this on the grill. Okay, our Big Joe's pretty much up to temperature. We're at 250 degrees. I might just give that a touch more air, but anywhere is 250 to 300 degrees I'm happy with for a reverse sear. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw this over here on the cool side, and I will flip this after about 20-30 minutes just to make sure we're not getting any more heat on one side than the other. Okay, so while our steak is reverse searing and coming up to temperature, now is the perfect time to go ahead and make our sear sauce. Also give that a chance to have a couple minutes for those flavors to meld. So I'll put the exact amount in the description below, but we're going to start with mayo. Then we've got some garlic powder, some pepper, and salt. And then next we've got some red wine vinegar mixed in with some water. I just put them all together here in this container. Pour that in. And we can whisk this up. So that looks really good. So just getting a taste here. So that's just got some real nice zing with a bit of garlic and pepper is really all I'm picking up. But that acid from the vinegar just kind of gives it a brightness. And so what we'll do when it's time to sear our steak is we'll just gently or lightly brush this on both sides of our steak and blast sear it on the soapstone, and this will help form an amazing crust. You can cut this recipe down even further because this again is more than what we'll need for one steak. Okay, I just got the alert from the meter. It's time to pull off our tomahawk steak. And as mentioned earlier on, I did go ahead at the halfway point and give this a flip so that we had our bone side towards the heat and had a chance to cook both sides evenly. I'm just going to go ahead now, pull this off, remove our meter probe. It's done its work. and we'll let this rest while we crank up the heat. All right, it might have taken a while to get here, but things are going to happen fast now. So fast, we want to have everything nearby, whether it's spare plates, salt and pepper, our scallops, our steak, our sear sauce. Everything is going to be within arm's reach because we're going to have this all done in a matter of minutes. So since it's going to go so quick, I won't have time to reposition the camera and deal with Inferno mode. So I'm going to bring you close and you'll get a bird's eye view of Inferno mode in all its glory. So what do you say? Let's fire it up. All right, to start this party, we're going to hit our Wagyu tomahawk here with a little bit of our sear sauce. And I will get the other side as soon as we put this side down on the grill. All right, that looks good. Let's get it started. Look at that. I think that is a perfect crust, and that was about 35 seconds per side. So again, we'll let this rest, take it inside, slice it up, and I'll rejoin you for the taste test. But first, we've got our scallops to do. Okay, so let's season our scallops. Just going to do a little fresh cracked pepper and some of our smoked sea salt. This is the Maldron's one of the ones I mentioned is my favorite in my Amazon links down below. It's one of 3 salts I think every house should have. All right, that looks good. Let's go ahead and get these on our soapstone. Okay, so we'll just go ahead now. Those been on for about a minute. Just get our other side here that we didn't get with the pepper and salt. So don't be put off by the color that's coming through on camera. That's just a little bit of our steak rub that's giving it that dark color. These are still going to be a perfect medium for a scallop. So again, we'll just give these about a minute and they're ready to come off. All right, let me get this inside and get ready for our taste test. All right, let's slice into this bad boy. Try and do this at an angle where you can actually see. That is just a perfect medium rare all the way through. Crust to crust. Can't wait to try this. Let's slice it up. All right, time for the best part. As you might have saw on fast forward, we got some amazing looking medium rare slices off of our Wagyu steak. I've got a scallop, I've got 2 pieces of steak. Let's dig in. Oh, it looks so good. I wish I could share, maybe. Yeah, it's good. I don't know what else to say. I've used the analogy before. Some of you heard it, but I'm speechless. So I'm going to use it again because those are the only words I can think of. All those kids from the 80s, you remember Gushers candy? Wagyu is just like that, except it's amazing meat flavor. So as we got down into our bite, you're definitely getting the taste of the meat itself. Wagyu, just some incredible beef flavor. But our 5-layer flavoring, the salt, is just perfect. Our rub, the smoke, and our sear sauce, it's just coming together for that perfect crust. And it is incredibly thin, so it's not overpowering. And I'm, again, not getting any of that hot sauce, but there's just an earthiness, a deepness to it that is phenomenal. I can't wait. Let me try the scallop now. That was perfect on this. Seasoning's on point. If I didn't already love the Soapstone enough, this is another reason. I think it's a must-have for your household as well. So good. You just cannot get that perfectly flat sear on really anything else. Even my cast iron plates have little bumps and grooves. You just don't get that perfect Maillard reaction on whatever surface it is you're searing. Unbelievable. And just like that, we're at the end of another video. This method of reverse searing steaks has quickly become a favorite in our household, where we set that soapstone as our heat deflector / sear surface and then blast it with our mayo sear sauce. It's just phenomenal. I hope you really do try it. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please let YouTube know by smashing that like button, and let me know by hitting subscribe to catch future videos. Until next time, I'm James from Smokin' Dad Barbecue signing off, and remember, don't be afraid to fire it up.